Hello friends, I welcome you to second part of lecture titled Partition of Hindu Joint Family Property. The learning objectives of this lecture are to examine the procedure of suit for partition, to comprehend the concept of reopening of partition, to understand the process of reunion, to check the points of differences between Mitakshara and Dayabhaga schools, to analyze the points of similarities between Mitakshara and Dayabhaga schools. Suit for partition. Partition of Hindu joint family property can be effected by instituting a suit in a court of law. Filing of partition suit implies the severance of the joint status and it operates from the date of filing of such suit and not from the date of decree. There are certain relevant aspects in relation to suit for partition. By whom? A major having a sound mind and having an interest in the co-parcenary property can file a suit for its partition. Even a minor can do so with the help of guardian or next friend if it results into benefits to such minor. Parties to partition suit. One or some of the co-parceners can file the suit jointly. All co-parceners, females, entitled to share on partition and male family members more than 3 generations, purchaser of co-parceners' interest, should be made parties to it so as to decide the question relating to their maintenance, marriage expenses, etc. Hence, all the parties who are entitled to demand partition, to have a share on partition, to have a provision made for maintenance and marriage, and alienies of the undivided interest are the necessary parties to the suit. Burden of proof. The burden of proof shall be on the plaintiff to prove that the property in question is joint family property. Operation of decree. The severance of status operates from the institution of suit even though the suit is dismissed for want of justification or otherwise. The proof of plaintiff as separate from the joint family becomes evident by exercising his right to file a suit for partition, whether he obtains the copy of judgment or not from the court. A decree is necessary for division of property by metes and bounds in the case where mode of partition is by way of filing a suit. No severance takes place if suit is proved to be sham just to harass other co-parceners. Subject matter. A suit for partition may be filed in relation to some or all of the joint family properties. Hence, suit can be filed for full or partial partition. Withdrawal of suit. The general rule is that once filed, the withdrawal of partition suit will not reverse the severance of joint status as it is considered to operate from the time of filing. However, if the suit is withdrawn before trial, then the partition shall be said to not take place as it indicates the intention of the plaintiff to not go ahead with partition. Reopening of partition. A partition once done is generally irrevocable. The severance of status upon partition cannot be reverted back to its original position as a general rule. Therefore, on partition, the co-parcener becomes individual owner of their shares and community of interest comes to an end. However, there are certain situations under which it becomes necessary to reopen the partition. But this is not the rule. Partition can be reopened only under exceptional circumstances where grave travesty of injustice is needed to be averted from causing to family members. Partition can be reopened under certain circumstances. Readjustment of assets. Generally, the partition cannot be reopened, but if the circumstances demand, then at first instance, the parties should consider readjusting the assets in question rather than reopening the whole partition. Even then, if it is impossible to avoid injustice, then partition must be reopened. Fraudulent partition. When the partition is unfair, unjust, fraudulent or detrimental to one or some of the co-parceners, it will be ordered to be set aside and the partition shall be reopened. If any of the co-parceners conceal any property which might be subject of partition or take more than his eligible share by any fraudulent way, the other co-partners on the disclosure of such facts are entitled for reopening of partition. Similarly, partition can be reopened on the grounds of coercion, undue influence, misrepresentation, etc. Co-partner begotten before partition. If a share is not reserved for a child in womb not born before partition, then he has a right to reopen the partition after birth. Co-partner begotten and born after partition. Similar right is available to the co-partner begotten and born after partition. Adopted son. A son adopted by a widow has a right to reopen the partition if he is an adopted son of the deceased father under the doctrine of relation back. Disqualified co-partner. Co-partners who were disqualified while partition takes place are entitled to reopen it upon the removal of disqualification. Absent co-partner. If due to some reasons a co-partner remains absent during the process of partition, then he shall be entitled to reopen upon his arrival. Minor co-partners. If partition takes place during the minority of a co-partner and he proves that it was unjust or detrimental, then partition can be reopened. However, there is an exception to this case where the previous partition was made through the order of the court. Impracticable family arrangement. If there is any family arrangement reached at by the family members by their mutual understanding and the same is impracticable to carry out, then partition can be reopened. Unequal distribution. A co-partner entitled to get a specific share has the right to reopen the partition if he does not get the equal share. Mistake of property. Loss of property due to no right of the joint family over it or due to any other mistake on account of the joint family gives the right to the losing co-partner to claim reopening of partition from the shares of others. Discovery of more joint property. If after partition some joint property is found, then preferably it will be divided according to the shares of the co-partners. But if it is not of divisible nature, then it will be added to old lot of joint property and partition of the new and extended joint property shall be reopened. Reunion. Sometimes it may happen that after partition the co-partners may decide to revert back to their initial stage of co-partnery before partition. This is possible by using the option of reunion. By reunion, the Hindu texts allow co-partners to reunite, means to come back together to the status that they held in the past. However, according to the Mitakshara, Dravida, Bengal, Dayabaga schools, the option of reunion is subject to two conditions. Only parties to the partition can reunite. Reunion is possible only between father and son or uncle and nephew or brothers. Bombay and Mithila schools are on different footing. According to these schools, only the first condition is necessary to be fulfilled for reunion. Two important aspects relating to reunion are: procedure. Reunion can take place with the expression of intention by the parties to reunite. It may be oral or in writing. Effects of reunion. After reunion, status quo ante is fully restored and the parties revert back to their original position. Hence, after reunion, the initial co-partnery again comes into existence, which is now again available for partition. Points of differences between Mitakshara and Dayabaga school. A major part of Hindu law has been codified, but there are some facets of Hindu society which are still regulated by uncodified provisions. Where such facets are made part of statutory enactments, no question of different rules arises. But when these are dealt under some uncodified provisions, a different set of rules is applicable according to the two main schools, that is Mitakshara and Dayabhaga, as the case may be. Differences present among two schools are: Law of succession. Under Mitakshara school, the rules of succession are based on the principle of propinquity, which means those who are nearer to the propositus in blood and are on equal footing shall inherit his property equally and simultaneously. On the other hand, under Dayabhaga school, the rules of succession are based on the religious efficacy or spiritual benefit by conferment of religious advantage, under the doctrine of offering of oblations or pindadan to the propositus on his death. Interest by birth. The Mitakshara co-partners have interest by birth in the co-partnery property, whereas Dayabhaga co-partners do not have such right. In actual, it is only after the death of propositus that Dayabhaga co-partnery comes into existence for the first time. Entitlement to share. Under Mitakshara school, male descendants of a co-partner up to 4th generations, including himself, are entitled to a share in the property upon partition, that is son, son's son and son's son's son. Under Dayabhaga, only son of a propositus is entitled to have a share. Opening of partition. Partition can be opened any time during or after the lifetime of Mitakshara co-partner, who is entitled to demand such partition because of the interest by birth. Whereas under Dayabhaga school, partition opens only after the death of the propositus. During the lifetime of propositus, no other co-partners are entitled to demand partition under Dayabhaga school. Prediction of shares. According to the Mitakshara school, no member of the joint family can predict his definite share out of the joint property before partition. It is only on partition that the proportion of each co-partner in the property is fixed. Under the Dayabhaga school, on the other hand, each co-partner has a certain definite share in the joint property of which he is the absolute owner. Position of stepmother. Under Dayabhaga, a sonless stepmother is not entitled to a share on a partition between her stepsons. Under the Mitakshara, no such distinction exists. Rule of survivorship. The share of a Dayabhaga deceased co-partner passes to his heir by the law of inheritance. It means rule of survivorship is not recognized under Dayabhaga school, which is available under Mitakshara. Persons entitled to partition. Under the Mitakshara, a son, a grandson and a great-grandson can demand partition against their 3 immediate ancestors. According to Dayabhaga, a son is not entitled to a partition of the co-partnery property against his father during his lifetime. The same rule applies to grandsons and great-grandsons. Types of property. Mitakshara school recognizes the difference between obstructed property and unobstructed property. No such distinction is recognized under Dayabhaga school. Points of similarities between Mitakshara and Dayabhaga school. Apart from having differences in their operating module, there are certain similarities between Mitakshara and Dayabhaga school. Some of these similarities are: status of joint family. Similar to the Mitakshara concept of joint family, Dayabhaga school also recognizes the concept of joint family, where a Dayabhaga joint family is joint in food, worship and estate. A joint family under both schools consists of relatives by blood and adoption, and no other member can be added by any other mode. Persons entitled to partition. Both under the Mitakshara and Dayabhaga, Every adult co-partner, whether male or female, can enforce a partition of the co-partnery property. It is important to note here that under Mitakshara, a female was not a co-partner. It is only after the amendment of 2005 that she is considered a co-partner, same as that of a son. Position of mother. As under the Mitakshara, so also under the Dayabhaga, a mother cannot herself enforce a partition. Unity of possession. After partition, both Mitakshara and Dayabhaga co-partners may decide to continue unity of possession even after ascertaining their shares. Therefore, after getting their shares specified, they may still opt to continue unity of possession, by which it is impossible for them to declare which share out of the whole property is theirs. Position of Karta. The position of Karta under both schools is almost same. An eldest member is given the title of Karta and all his powers and liabilities are same both under Mitakshara and Dayabhaga schools. While concluding, it may be said that partition of Hindu joint family property can take place by various modes, viz. By demand, agreement, conduct, arbitration, and by a partition suit. Partition once done is generally irrevocable. However, there are certain situations under which it becomes necessary to reopen the partition, such as fraudulent partition, co-partner begotten before partition or born after partition, minor co-partner, unequal distribution, etc. Under Mitakshara school, the rules of succession are based on the principle of propinquity, which means those who are nearer to the propositus in blood or on the equal footing shall inherit his property equally and simultaneously. On the other hand, under Dayabhaga school, the rules of succession are based on the religious efficacy or spiritual benefit by conferment of religious advantages under the doctrine of offering of oblations or pindadhan to the propositus on his death. With this, I conclude this lecture. Hope you have understood fully. Thank you.